What do we have for Aries? Seven of Wands, Leo energy at the foundation of the reading, Aries. Right now, I'm picking up on an energy where the Aries collective is between worlds. There's everything you've always known, and then there's this new timeline that a lot of you are on the precipice of stepping into. But in order to do so, there's still a little bit of releasing work that needs to take place here. One of the downloads that I heard from you, Aries, was that you need to move on from the version of yourself that allowed people to take advantage of you, as opposed to just saying you're moving on from those people. Because what this actually suggests is that there is some spiritual growth, some spiritual healing that has taken place there, but it's been within self. Now, when you can take on this particular perspective and you focus on the healing from within, as opposed to focusing on the energies that are surrounding you, it actually allows you to move on for good. See, all the answers that you seek are going to be found by going within, as opposed to focusing on your outward exterior environment. And I feel that quite a number of you have been in these karmic cycles that have been repeating. Typically, karmic cycles are going to repeat a number of times before you just start to see a kind of pattern that is unfolding in your life that, well, it really can't be denied. And this is what typically will trigger some sort of awakening inside of you that you need to make some serious changes to remove yourself from the set of circumstances that you may be dealing with in that moment. There seems to be this energy here where not only are you about to break free of this energy, but you're also starting to understand why it is you kept engaging in this energy. And one of the other downloads that I also heard for you, Aries, was that you need to own your mind. Don't let your mind own you. And I feel that this might have a lot to do with a kind of thought process that you may be needing to take control over as a means to break free from this energy. Okay, now I'm hearing that there's something going on with the mind, a lot of overthinking. I feel that some of you may be overwhelmed by this situation. You may feel disadvantaged in regards to moving forward. You also may find your plans stalling out every time you do try to move forward or move in this specific direction. But I'm hearing that it has something to do with conversation that you need to have with yourself. Makes perfect sense. This all has to do with the relationship that you're keeping with self, Aries. It's as if you need to program your mind that failure is not an option in regards to breaking free from this energy. Now, what this requires from you is raw faith. This is how you're going to break free from this situation or head towards whatever this may be. But for the most part, this is going to speak about a change that all of you are being guided to implement in your life. And in order to do so, it's as if you need to upgrade your software, right? It's like upgrading to a new mindset. And this new mindset is going to help arm you with this newfound sense of faith and hope. So you can finally break away and start moving in this new direction. You know, Aries, I quite often mention that the devil is the thief of time. If he can get you engaged in situations that have nothing to do with the divine's will for your life, well, then you are giving him the win. And this particular situation that you may be dealing with requires you to completely shut it out. It's as if the way to get away from it is not to feed it any more of your energy and to really step out on faith here, Aries. And I gotta say, this energy feels familiar. I've been through this before. It's like you're being guided to go in a direction. You don't know how it's going to turn out. You don't know how you're going to do it. But all you know is that you have to move in that direction. And I would go as far as saying for most of you, Aries, it's because the divine is calling you. The divine is asking you to have faith, to have trust. And when I've gone through this in my life, one time really in particular, which allowed me to have really big breakthroughs, I had no idea what it looked like on the other side. But Spirit was guiding me. I really felt called. And though the path was difficult, eventually I ended up back on my feet. And I looked back in complete amazement that I was able to harness the strength and courage to step out on faith so blindly. It was this particular event that allowed me to see very clearly the presence of the divine God, Spirit in my life. And from that point forward, I have made it my life's mission to also encourage other people to find that for themselves and to be here and give you a sense of support, let you know that you're not the only one that feels this way. There's other people out there like you as well. So in saying all that, Aries, it's very important that you're answering the call right now. I'm seeing the judgment card in my mind's eye. We don't have it on the table, but that's really what this is here. And the Seven of Wands is the restriction that you're having to overcome in order to step into that new timeline, to heed the call, right? Which is judgment energy. When the divine calls, you answer. And then on the bottom of the deck, I have the Ten of Swords. So an ending and a beginning, Gemini energy. Okay, so here we are, Aries. We are on the precipice of a major timeline shift in your life. And I feel that this is all unfolding right now. Perfect. The Magician, Gemini, Virgo energy at the sacral. So there's a vision you have for your life, Aries, and the divine really needs you to hold on to this right now, because whatever you're dealing with is trying to rip this dream, rip this vision, rip this manifestation away from you. This is one of these events where you're so consumed by the everyday grind of life that you're feeling your faith dwindling. You're feeling that hope starting to fade away. This is something that we all face. It's just the way our environments are built, this world, this third density. Your faith can begin to run very thin when you start to face obstacles and challenges in your life. How could Spirit, how could God put you through something that could bring so much turmoil into your life? But what I can say is every time I have gone through this, Aries, I'm always reminded why said thing had to happen, because a little further down the road, it all begins to make sense. We can't see God's playing board, right? It's like life is a game of chess. God is up there and he can see perfectly. It's like our life is a kind of game of chess. God can see where each chess piece needs to move. He has a higher perspective over our life, a higher vantage point. So until the moves are made, and you get a little further down the track, they can sometimes not make sense. And there's a reason why I'm telling you this, Aries. And I feel it has a lot to do with the Seven of Wands and the need for you to harness this raw faith at current, because there may be some things that are leaving your life. There may be some things that are piling up. There may be some things that are creating confusion, stress, anxiety. But if you can refocus your mind on the fact that the divine is trying to rearrange things for you behind the scenes, to remove you from this particular situation and help get you on path towards the next timeline, I promise you, Aries, once you get a little further down the track, everything will begin to crystallize. Everything will begin to make sense. A lot of you have been trying to manifest something into your life. And what we seem to forget when we are trying to manifest something into our life, Aries, is that, again, things need to be reorganized behind the scenes by the divine in order to bring said manifestation into your waking life. It's like there's a script for your life. And here you are manifesting a new scene. And behind the scenes, the divine is writing that manifestation into the script, right? The new scene. And then having to rearrange everything so it flows in a cohesive manner. There's obviously no way for us to possibly begin to even compartmentalize what the divine has to do in order to make this happen. But the one thing you can do, again, is just have faith that your manifestation will come to pass, whatever that represents for you. And your insurance for that is the fact that you have been living your life to the best of your ability in alignment with the divine's will for your life. Now, none of us are perfect. Sometimes we don't even know if we're living in alignment with the divine's will for our life. But the divine knows your heart. We're in this 3D kind of matrix, so we're always being led off path unknowingly, and we're constantly having to find our way back. We make mistakes, we pick ourselves back up, and we just try to be a little better. But no matter what it is you're going through, the one thing that is always for certain is that God knows you. You're meant to make mistakes. You're meant to have failures. You're meant to feel directionless. Because when you finally get onto path and you look back over your life and you begin to understand that all of those struggles and obstacles were absolutely necessary to get you to where you are in that very moment, you'll appreciate all of it and you'll have a big bag of wisdom and life experience to pull from. And this is what this is all about. The accumulation of experience is one of the biggest reasons why we are even here to begin with. What do we have at the solar plexus, please? That card really flipped out of my hand. The Chariot. Cancer energy at the solar plexus. And that card came out on its side. They want me to take it in the reverse because it's going to help better understand what it is we're actually picking up here. And this confirms everything we're saying, because the Chariot in reverse is an energy of giving up. It's an energy where you feel a lack of control and direction. It's like you're lacking focus and you just seem to be facing all of these obstacles. And also speak about travel issues. It's like you're ready to make some sort of move in your life, and then in the 11th hour, something comes out of left field that you would have never have seen coming, which forces you to cancel your plans or the moves that you were preparing to take here. I'm picking up on individuals here that are making a decision in their life that is going to alter the trajectory of their entire path moving forward. Now, it can be argued that any decision you make in any given moment can align you with different possibilities, of course, but there are certain decisions that allow us to hit the next level in the game, right? And this is definitely one of those times, Aries. Whatever it is here that you are trying to go towards or remove yourself from, or quite possibly both, this is not easy. And I feel that the more you try to make this change, the more resistance you're feeling. You almost start to realize that there's something much deeper at play. It feels spiritual in nature. When you are breaking free of karmic cycles that you have quite possibly been engaged in your entire life, it's kind of like when you hear those stories about people who are in gangs, right? And they decide they don't want to be in the gang anymore, but they have to be. But they're not allowed to leave, or the only way to get out of the gang is to get jumped out, or, something crazy like this. And then you start to realize there's some sort of sinister undertone to all of this after all. Okay, I'm hearing something about generational karma here, generational curses, chain breakers, this kind of energy, black sheeps, right? Now, this can certainly speak about individuals that are breaking away from family dynamics because they just don't resonate, or they don't feel that their values align with the family structure any longer. But they find that there's a restriction there that you never saw before. Some cases, you may have thought that you could just up and leave whenever you wanted until you actually tried to leave. I have this vision in my mind's eye right now, Aries. It's sort of like those horror movies, right? Where somebody's trying to get out of maybe a haunted house and they go to open the front door. And when they step through the front door, they end up in a bedroom in the back of the house. So they go through another door and they end up in another room, on another side of the house. They just can't get out. This is what I'm picking up here. And that's what it feels like to remove yourself from a karmic cycle. It's like trying to get out of a haunted house that you never actually knew you were in. And then on the bottom of the deck, I have the Five of Pentacles, Taurus energy. Okay, so as we can see here, I mean, this looks kind of like a haunted house or maybe a haunted church or something, but it just has that coloring to it, right? Like, Aries, aren't you happy here? Don't leave. You can never leave. You have to stay here forever with me, right? So this is like the energy of a karmic cycle. Poverty mindset, lack mentality, that dark cloud over your head that you are trying to break free from. And you start to realize that when you're breaking free from it, it won't let you go. Okay, now this can certainly speak about actual people in your life, but I'm reading it as more of an energy. And like I mentioned earlier on in the reading, I know this. I've been through this, okay? And for me personally, it was an energy, but it really also came down to a certain collection of people that held this kind of energy. Now, when it comes to family dynamics, this can be very challenging to remove yourself from, especially if it's family members that have always been in your life. This will absolutely be one of the hardest things you have ever had to do in your life. And it's beyond the person, them. It's just that energy, because it seeps through every fiber of your being. You start to realize that no matter where you turn, no matter how hard you try, You can't escape that energy. That's what this feels like. And then on the bottom of this deck, I have the Ten of Cups, Judgment, Six of Swords, and Two of Pentacles. Okay, so there's that energy of being in between worlds. Okay, Six of Swords, this is an energy of you moving away from some sort of pain. It's a energy of a rite of passage, and then Judgment. So I was talking about Judgment, right? Heeding the call. And then Ten of Cups. See, this Ten of Cups is different because the Ten of Cups is typically a very happy kind of energy. It's, I would say it's probably the second most high vibrational card in the tarot, maybe behind the Sun card, right? Sun card and then Ten of Cups are extreme happiness. But this Ten of Cups is a little different because, as you can see, these individuals are trying to escape some sort of torrential downfall. And it gives the vibe of a family here, a family structure, something you have always known. And if you're not actually dealing with family members in your everyday waking life, it could be a learned behavioral pattern that you've picked up from your family that is creating disruptions in your adult life in other areas of your life, right? I mean, this is generational karma. Generational karma is when you pick up behavioral patterns and traits that have been passed through the family lineage, and then here you are in the here and now realizing that these things that you have picked up and you have been carrying with you your entire life do not work in any way, shape, or form any longer on the path that you are on. This is called breaking generational patterning. What do we have at the heart, please? Wow, Lovers, Gemini energy at the heart. Okay, so this particular Lovers card for this particular reading really speaks about you coming into alignment with your higher self, right? It's like here you are in the here and now. You're kind of knocked down. You're kind of beat up by life. Male or female, it doesn't matter. Genders don't matter here. And your higher self is like, come on, just come with me. We got you. And then here's the divine, right? And you're like, I don't know. And your higher self is like, come on, you got to have faith. You got to have hope. We're going to remove you from this situation. But you got to be strong. Okay, I'm also hearing that some of you out there need to know that even though some of you might actually be alone dealing with this situation, this could be one of these situations where you are actually surrounded by people, but maybe you just can't talk to anybody about this because they won't understand you. And it probably goes without even saying, Aries. I mean, you just listen to this reading, and unless you are sort of wired in a certain way, this is hard to understand, right? So how are you supposed to explain this to people around you in your everyday waking life? You don't, because it creates more confusion for you. So it's something that you hold close to your chest. But in saying that, the divine needs you to know that you're to reach out to them in these times of need so you can feel that support come through and envelop you. Okay. And this is also something that I know to be very real because, like I mentioned, I've been through these situations myself. And the hardest part about navigating situations like this is the knowing that you're alone. You have to navigate territory that you have never treaded before. So how could you possibly take this to somebody around you? Chances are nobody you know has ever gone through this. How many of you out there have been going through something and you just want to talk to somebody about it, so you try to express yourself, and then you feel worse? You say to yourself, I wish I didn't share that, right? This is one of those situations, Aries. It's between you and the divine. Nobody can assist you in this situation because nobody you know has ever gone through anything like this before. And then in the bottom of the deck, I have the Fool card. Okay, so card 0, the Fool's Journey. Now, I was pretty much already feeling this energy before we even got to the Fool card, but this represents somebody who's going through the Fool's Journey, right? Stepping out on faith, knowing that the divine is going to catch you on the other side. What do we have at the throat, please? Knight of Swords, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy at the throat. Okay, so there's an energy here of lifestyle changes, and I have been picking up on this throughout the course of this reading. There's some sort of major changes that you're making here that like I mentioned, are going to alter the trajectory of your life moving forward. But now's the time to act, Aries. There seems to be an acceleration in the energy where the divine is saying, come on, let's go. It's time, right? And this can be seen as spirit kind of pushing you out of the nest, right? You're never quite ready for it, but your survival instincts kick in and you're on your way. I just heard very clearly, this is going to resonate for some of you out there. You just need to rip the Band-Aid off. Just get to it. The hesitation, the delay is just making it harder. It's making it worse. It's like the more you're holding off from something, the more fear that you're allowing to seep in and completely consume you. Wow. And then right on the bottom of the deck, I have the 8 of Cups. Okay. So it's like here you are. It's like you're drinking the fear. You're just kind of standing there. You're not really taking action. You know that you should withdraw from this particular situation here, but you're just kind of in this cyclical sort of cycle, this pattern. It's like you're ready, then you're going back. What do we have at the third eye, please? Lovers again. Wow. So we have 3 decks on the table. 1, 2, and then 3. But see how right here, you're standing up now, right? And there's a sword here. It's like the divine is helping you wield this sword. You know, I've been saying that you need to harness this raw faith. And that can be seen as like the Ace of Swords right there, which is an energy of raw power. And I'm also thinking back to what I said about owning your mind, right? The swords represent the mentals. And this is representing mental clarity. And this is also speaking about the support that you take from the divine that allows you to actually step into this new timeline. See, when you put forth the intention to make a decision of this magnitude, Aries, what a lot of you don't realize is that it sets something off in the spirit. It's like a battalion is assigned to protect you, to help chariot you, right, to the next timeline. Now, this is very difficult for us to understand because we live in this 3-dimensional density, so we can't really see that, right? We just have this feeling, we have this deep knowing, which makes all of this way more difficult than it needs to be. If we could just see the spirit realm, if we could just see what's going on behind the scenes, then we probably wouldn't even be sitting here having this conversation right now. But that's where I come in to help you here, Aries, because I'm sort of the middleman between you and that battalion that is trying to support you, that is trying to help you step into the new timeline. I channel through the messages that they want you to receive. So you know that you're not alone, that your backup has arrived. But there's certain things that they want to encourage you to do so you can actually communicate with them directly. Some of the main things that you can do are obviously going to be meditation, Aries. Deep meditation sessions so you can receive the downloads and the guidance. And this can also be challenging, especially when you're dealing with a certain kind of chaos. Sometimes the last thing that you really can find time to do is sit down and meditate. Who's got time for that, right? But I'm telling you, that's exactly why you should do it, because of the huge gift that you are blessed with and that is bestowed upon you when you do actually do it. That's how you communicate with headquarters. That's how you navigate the storms of your life, is by seeking a deeper understanding of what it is you may be dealing with, because it's far beyond the physical. It always is. And then right on the bottom of the deck, I have the King of Swords, okay, and the Hermit. So I was just thinking about this Hermit card when I was talking about seeking a deeper understanding, right? I mean, that's the Hermit. And then we have the King of Swords here. So it's like right there, the divine's preparing your sword. And then right here, you're preparing to actually wield it, okay? Which is all about taking action. What do we have at the crown, please? Strength. We spoke this card into existence as well because we were talking about the need for courage earlier on in the reading, which is obviously a necessary component to pulling this off. Leo, Gemini, Virgo, Cancer, Gemini, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, Gemini, Leo. So again, a lot of Gemini energy here, which puts further impact behind that statement, right, about owning your mind. You need to overcome any sort of self-doubt and go through the fear right now, Aries. This is one of these situations where, although it may be easier said than done, you got to go through the fear, okay? Because the fear is an illusion. You get to the other side of it and you look back and you're like, oh my God, what was that? That was a complete facade. And there I was, locked up, not making any moves because I was so scared. But now here I am on the other side of it. And after having this perspective shift and after perceiving this thing from a higher vantage point, there was absolutely no reason to ever be scared. And how many of you have dealt with situations like that before? All of you, I'm sure. 100% of you have dealt with something like that before. This is exactly what I'm picking up here. You don't even realize it, but this is not your first rodeo, and it won't be your last. But the subconscious fear here is, ooh, it's strong. It's very overwhelming. Major sign of an upgrade taking place in your life, Aries. See, you're not just moving on from people, places, situations, things. You're actually moving on from the version of yourself that allowed whatever this may be here to keep you stuck, to take advantage of you, to not see your worth. See, this is more so about you than what you've been dealing with. It requires a shift in mindset to be able to elevate and step onto this new timeline. And then right on the bottom of the deck, I have the Six of Swords again. So we've already seen the Six of Swords from one of the other decks. It's like you were going there, right? In that other Six of Swords, and now you're arriving. And see right there? It's like there you are, and there's your inner child, right? See, situations like this always require some sort of inner child healing. This has been coming up so much in the readings lately. Makes sense, though. There's a lot of transformation taking place in the world, and in order to allow this transformation to successfully unfold in your lives, you have to heal the parts of you that have been left unhealed for so long. Focusing on that inner child healing can quite literally change the you in the here and now. It's like going back to that younger version of yourself and being there when nobody else could, giving yourself a hug. Just does something to your mind. It allows you to find a certain level of peace, and it has a very profound, dramatic effect on how you begin to move in your everyday waking life in the here and now. It's like going back into the past, readjusting some things, healing some things. And then all of a sudden, here you are as future you, healed and better for it. And I think it was in maybe the collective reading I just put out where I mentioned that by doing this, it might just give you that extra bit of confidence that you need to push forward in a certain direction. What do we have at the foundation, please? Oh. Death. Lucifer. There he is. So I've been speaking about how the devil knows your plans, right? He knows what you're going to do before you even do it. Here he is, right? Sitting in the underworld on a pile of skulls, right? And then here you are in your everyday waking life fighting this energy that he's projecting into your life through these people. It says right here, it incites jealousy and envy. So it could be that there's people around you that are making it difficult for you to move in a certain direction or another because they're jealous, they're envious of you. And this particular death card is an energy of stagnation. It's an energy that wants to destroy your hope, right? Crush your faith. But these next few cards here represent the principalities, what's taking place in the spirit, what you can't see, like I mentioned. Aries, if I was to summarize this entire reading at this point, I would say, hey, Aries, there's something important you're going to do in your life, but the devil is trying to use the people, the situation, the things, the events, whatever it is around you to stop you from getting there. So any fear that you face on your path, you must charge through it with raw power and raw faith in the knowing that you're going to make it to where the divine needs you to get to. What do we have? The sacred, please. Two of Wands, Shadow Aries energy, Epis. And see how this energy looks kind of sneaky? It's like it's sneaking up behind you, right? Without you even noticing, right? It's a principality. It's in the shadow. You don't even see it coming. It's an energy that wants you to fear the unknown. It's an energy that wants you to not make any moves because you can't see how things are going to unfold for you, right? Which goes back to what we keep repeating in this reading about having raw faith. This energy right here wants to tell you that it's never going to work out for you, that you're making a mistake. And then this energy here, depending on who you may be dealing with, Aries, will do whatever it can to try and manipulate the energies to go in their favor. Now, there's obviously countless different ways that can show up. I don't know what all of you are dealing with out there, but I'm hearing some of you may need to be mindful of that, okay? And really just disengage as quickly as possible so you don't have to look over your shoulder all the time. And if you were going to look over your shoulder, this would be the energy that would be requiring you to do so because it's sneaking up behind you. It's like this is the energy that Lucifer sends into your life. What do we have at the solar plexus, please? Ace of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy, Beer. So this is an energy that is literally trying to block you. This is one of these situations that is trying to wear you down to the point where you have no energy. I just heard for some of you, maybe even cause you to be sleep deprived. It just depends on what you may be dealing with. But overall, it's just an energy of feeling very mentally and physically just barren, emotionally exhausted by this energy here. See, if they can't get things to go in their favor, then they'll start utilizing tactics like this to completely wear you down. What do we have at the heart, please? Citri, Ace of Swords in its negative polarity, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius energy, indiscretion and untruth. Yeah, Aries, you really need to trust your instincts right now, no matter how unclear the road ahead might seem. In fact, the energies right now are really supporting you intuitively speaking, okay? So you need to lean into your instincts and allow them to guide you through any uncertainty with laser clarity, okay? Which is an Ace of Swords kind of energy here. But because this is Ace of Swords in its negative polarity, it's like they're trying to get it to where you don't see that. You don't understand that. So you need to be reminded that your intuition is firing on all cylinders right now. And you also really need to focus on solutions. Don't focus on the problems here. You really thrive on solving things as well, Aries. Just that's who you are, right? But the world has enough people pointing out the problems. You're really here to be a part of the answer. So I feel that this new timeline that you're stepping into is going to be one where you're being encouraged to embrace your role as a problem solver. And it goes back to what I said about the devil knowing what you're here to do before you even know. And what I just said there could be the exact reason why all of this is happening to begin with. It would make a whole lot of sense because those are some pretty big messages that I just mentioned there in regards to that Ace of Swords in its negative polarity. Waymaker kind of energy, okay? That's what I'm getting here. You are an Aries, so you're the first sign of the zodiac. You kick the door open for the rest of us, so it makes perfect sense. We are getting these kinds of messages for you. And then we have the Page of Swords, Ha'ia, refuge. Okay, so now here you are on this new timeline, and whenever I get this Page of Swords, it's like that's them, whoever them is, right? Or it, or the principalities. And here you are on this poster. You know, that could just really represent where you're going. It doesn't have to mean fame and all that stuff, right? It just means that you're moving into a space where you're kind of untouchable, right? They can only watch from the sidelines and they have nothing left to say about it, okay? But there does seem to be an importance here to something that you are being positioned to do in your life, Aries. What do we have at the throat, please? Ah, perfect. The Hermit. We saw one of the Hermits earlier. We've also been speaking the Hermit energy on and off throughout the reading. It says right here, alchemy and transformation. Rules natural events, helps with spiritual progress. Okay? Word of God creating all. Virgo energy with this Hermit here. And again, this Hermit is all about you going inward for your guidance, for clarity, relying on your inner compass, which is further reiterating what I said about connecting with Source, that battalion that the divine has sent to you to help you navigate onto the new timeline. And it's putting further impact around the messages that I channeled through regarding your intuition. What do we have at the third eye, please? Wow. Unbelievable. 3 Lovers cards in this reading here. Gemini energy again. Hanuel, joy of God. Brings happiness to couples, removes negative energy. Okay, so we've seen a kind of evolution of the Lovers card here, right? It's like here, your higher self is giving you a hand. Now here, you're having this sort of communion with your higher self and the divine. And now here, you're on your way. But it says there, brings happiness to couples, removes negative energy. Now, this is just really speaking metaphorically about where you're going. You're going to be on this new timeline where everything looks different, okay? It's as if the problems of the past are just not things that you're dealing with on this new timeline, okay? It's all behind you now. What do we have at the crown to close out the reading for Aries, Spirit? Ah, perfect. 3 of Cups, Cancer energy at the crown to close out the reading. EIL, the right hand of God, fame and renown, influences commerce, voyages, and great discoveries. Okay, so this 3 of Cups has what I see is the 7 heavenly virtues around you, okay? 7 chakras, 7 heavenly virtues. And then there you are. You're just kind of like that little baby right there. And the divine is protecting you. And see how there's all those eyes around you? So it's like now you have heeded the call and you're allowing the divine to prop you up and help you elevate into this new timeline. The 3 of Cups is an energy of tremendous support. It's an energy that circles around you and protects you because you have accepted the mission that has been presented to you in this life cycle. This right here is a war between light and dark, good and evil, God and Lucifer, the divine and the underworld. And Aries, you are somewhere right in the middle, engaged in a full-on spiritual war without even fully being aware of it. But hopefully, with this reading, you might have a little bit more clarity or at least something to help guide you through some of this uncertainty, because I feel that this is a perfect blueprint to help you do so in the here and now. I certainly hope that This can bring some sense of peace to your mind and help you step into this new timeline that you very clearly, so rightfully deserve. Aries, this is the message I have available to you, depending on where you are on this timeline, should you choose to accept. I'm going to go ahead and leave it here. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And if you would like a personal reading, you can find all of my contact details in the description below this video. And thank you for your donations, Aries. Take care.